Post-industrial 9-to-5 schedules are a driving factor in decreasing societal productivity by exacerbating poor mental health, poor academic achievement, and decreasing educational commitment. I argue that the post-industrial work schedule is not fostering an environment conducive to optimal productivity and learning within the context of academia. In that regard, I am proposing that we reimagine this antiquated system in which social jet lag is reduced and the use of technology facilitates schedule adaptability. Hi, my name is Elodie Nickner, and I'll be presenting research supporting this claim. The Douglas Research Center states that 60 to 70% of Canadian students report feeling sleepy during their morning classes, and 1 in every 4 Canadians is sleep deprived. Considering the limited exposure these diagnoses obtain due to low self-report rates and strict diagnosis criteria, these numbers are quite alarming. Bearing in mind the nature of human development, behaviors established in adolescence solidify, thus highlighting the putative importance of developing healthy sleeping habits early on. I will first direct your attention towards the impact of sleep deprivation on academic performance. Rodriguez and colleagues examined the relationship between chronotype, which is a rigid biological inclination towards morning or evening preference, and academic performance. Specifically, they looked at math and language abilities. A negative slope indicates higher academic performance for earlier chronotypes, and a positive slope indicates higher academic performance for evening chronotypes. As we can see, evening chronotypes were disadvantaged on pretty much every level, and the playing field only became more equitable between both chronotypes with evening education. To provide hope, however, Whitman and colleagues suggest that social jet lag, which is a temporary circadian misalignment from social contexts, is a stronger predictor of negative health behaviors than chronotype. This suggests that we're not biologically doomed for failure if we have an evening chronotype. With social jet lag being a flexible phenomenon, there are solutions that we, as a society, can apply to reduce its negative effects. On the topic of solutions, in a study using a weekly actigraphy assessment to monitor sleep patterns and sleep recovery strategies, Beccaro and colleagues found that sleep recovery strategies can be beneficial in the short term. However, social jet lag will remain. This suggests that the only way to combat the negative effects of sleep deprivation are to attack it at its source, which is through the reduction of social jet lag. Next, I argue that delaying school start time will increase students' commitment towards education and bolster performance. This is exactly what Gideon and colleagues did, and they found postponing daily school start time had a positive impact on both grades and attendance. Specifically, they observed increased sleep duration and attendance rates, as well as a 5% increase in median grades. These results highlight the importance of tailoring the educational temporal context to its audience in order to encourage participation in the academic realm. While there are clearly great individual consequences of sleep deprivation, it also has a major global economic impact. These figures display the economic burden of insufficient sleep by country. It's crucial to note that the countries included in this analysis are all industrialized. That's something to think about. Factors contributing to these large sums include illnesses that are exacerbated by lack of sleep, thus highlighting the importance of getting a grip over our sleep, as it facilitates dealing with other illnesses. Now, what would the world look like if a more flexible model of the modern workday was adopted? The recent COVID-19 pandemic clearly illustrated this phenomenon. A national survey of U.S. adolescents questioned them on their sleep patterns during the COVID-19 pandemic and found that measures put into place during the pandemic, such as the emergence of remote work, permitted more regular sleep patterns and increased sleep duration for most adolescents. The pandemic led to almost a 30% increase in adolescents who reported getting a minimum of 8 hours of sleep on weekdays, and the percentage of adolescents experiencing social jet lag greater than 2 hours was decreased by almost 50%. In essence, the pandemic provided the flexible schedules required to favor adolescent sleep, leading to a host of health and academic benefits. I argue that the educational system requires reform, as it perpetuates this erroneous misconception that school is about memorization, meeting deadlines, and achieving high academic standing over students' health. On the contrary, education should foster an environment where students can learn at their own pace and encourage engagement with material rather than temporary retention with a means to an end. I argue that we can achieve this seemingly utopian future by making learning an increasingly independent process with technology. I believe that permitting a better work-life balance would increase academic motivation, diminish dropout rates, as well as renew the reputation surrounding academia. Thank you so much for listening.